Here's a picture of a window that was framed incorrectly. The framing carpenter got in a hurry and made a mistake, and all it was the fact that they didn't read the layout on the top plate correctly and didn't double check any of the other measurements, and pretty soon you have this, a window that is leaning to the right, and the whole window was framed that way. Now the framing carpenter, like I said, usually you run into a situation like that. It's when someone's in a hurry. So let's take a look at what happened by starting to examine the bottom plate here. So if you look, and again I'm going to zoom in on the picture here so you can get a better idea, there's an X. The X usually represents the king stud, which is going to be the 2x4 that runs all the way up and down and usually nails into the windowsill plate and the window header. So your king stud is also used for doors. Your door will be the same thing, and then you will have a window trimmer or a door trimmer that will also nail to the king stud. But the king stud is your main framing support that connects the top plate. It'll run all the way from the top plate to the bottom plate. So keep in mind the bottom plate is nailed correctly. It's the top plate that we have a problem with. So we're going to zoom in again here and give you a better idea. You'll be able to see where the mistake was actually made. And I would imagine to fix something like this would probably take about a half hour tops, but that's still a half hour. If you're talking about $20 an hour to $40 an hour, that's a couple of bucks there. And if it happens a little more often than you would like it to, you'd better stop and evaluate the problem and resolve it so that you're not spending a lot of money. Now the guy that actually did this is a guy that I was working with, and it wasn't uncommon for him to make mistakes like this because he had dyslexia, so he'd actually see things backwards. So, and he was in a hurry, so he kind of got the worst of two worlds there. So this should give you a pretty good idea. There are a lot of mistakes that framing carpenters make, and a lot of times when they make them, they're related to them being in a hurry and rarely double checking things, just kind of mowing through the process.